Hey everyone, Ryan here. Welcome to day 2 of launch week. I'm very excited for today. Um, we're launching something that we've been working on for quite a while. So, as you all know, at Bindplane, we've taken a different approach to how you build your telemetry pipeline. We think your pipeline should be built on OpenTelemetry. It should be built on open source technologies because fundamentally it should be something that you own. As folks have begun adopting telemetry pipelines, part of the reason for that was to remove vendor lock-in um, and if you simply swap out your proprietary vendor agent with a proprietary pipeline, you've kind of just shifted your lock-in left to a different vendor. And so you've got all this flexibility. Now you can send your data anywhere you want, but you're just locked in more tightly to your pipeline. And so we really think people should be building their pipeline on top of OpenTelemetry. And of course, we think Bindplane is the best way to facilitate that. And we want to continue to make Bindplane the way to build your OpenTelemetry native pipeline. But if we're ever not serving that need for you, if you remove Bindplane, we think you should still own that data collection and processing layer, which is why we've focused on building this around OpenTelemetry. Now, of course, up until today, Bindplane has worked with the Bindplane distribution of OpenTelemetry. And this is great. Our collector is excellent. It's open source. It's based on Contrib. And so if people don't want to think about this, they want just a supported version of the collector, they should use it. And that's what folks are mostly using today. But what we started to hear is more and more, well, part of the reason I'm adopting OpenTelemetry is because I actually want to build my own distribution. And actually that's what the project recommends, is to build your own distribution and not use Contrib and maybe use a vendor distro, but you got to be careful. You got to make sure that it has the components in it that you're going to need, because not every distro has everything you may want, including the Bindplane distro. It's quite common to want to build your own custom receiver that works with some internal API. And so how are you going to do this and support that? And the way to do it is to build your own distro. All right, so with that preamble out of the way, I'm excited to announce that today in preview, Bindplane now supports any distribution of OpenTelemetry. So a customer can build a distro. You can bring that to Bindplane. We call it Bring Your Own Collector, and you'll get the full Bindplane experience with that. Now, there's a couple of components that we require you to pull in. So we'll be able to share those with you. We're trying to continue to minimize that list. But once you do that, it's going to work great with Bindplane right out of the box. So let me show you what that looks like. Now, you may have noticed over the last month or so this new column pop up in the agents table, this type column. And this was setting the stage for this work. And so, see, most of these agents are B.1.x. In this case, you got 1.68. But you'll notice this collector down here called Custom OTel Collector. And this is a custom build of the collector. It's not the Bindplane distribution that's connected to Bindplane. It looks like we got to refresh here. So let's take a look at this configuration. Now, one thing that's really cool is Bindplane can understand which components exist on the collector and which versions of those components, the Go modules, exist. And so we can dynamically change the experience. So that means as we're showing you sources or destinations, processors, we're only going to show you what can actually be configured on the collector. And if a parameter changes, we're not going to let you configure some new parameter value that's in a receiver that doesn't exist on the version of the collector you have. And so we can create all of these protections to make sure as you have many different types of collectors, you might have a distro that's running at the edge and a distro that's running at the gateway. Bindplane is going to adapt for you and with you. So I have this basic pipeliner collecting some host metrics, but let me show you exactly what this looks like. So in this collector, I only have the OTLP exporter, basically, and I think the no-op exporter. So I'm going to go ahead and add a destination. And what you will notice is all of our destinations that are OTLP based work great. I can add any of these, go ahead and add honeycomb in here, and we can configure that as you'd expect. But if we scroll a little bit further down, I've got this section that says incompatible. These are destinations that depend on some exporter that isn't included in this build of the collector. And so if we jump in and let's see, we'll go ahead and look at Kafka. You'll see this message here where it actually specifies, hey, your collector is missing this component. For logs, metrics, and traces, we're missing the Kafka exporter. And we need some version greater than 0 in order to allow you to configure this destination. And so we just won't let it happen. And so this is how Bindplane is starting to react and respond to the collector that you've built and brought. So bring your own collector in Bindplane. I think you're really going to love it. Let us know what you think. And if you want to get early access, we'll have links to sign up for the preview in the blog post here below, in the YouTube video, live stream, etc. So please do sign up. All right. Cheers.